This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Vandals in Noblesville are ruining the Halloween spirit. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. Tonight we have video of the vandalism, which has left smashed pumpkins all over the place in Noblesville. RTV6's Graham Hunter is talking to one woman who was victimized twice, and she wants whoever is doing this to be caught.
This is the aftermath of a pumpkin smashing spree. The woman who lives here says it's happened twice in the last week, and she is tired of it.
I'm a big kid at heart, and so I have fun with it.
For years, Georgia Moore Newton has celebrated the holidays around her house with extravagant decorations.
We had skeletons out here of just about everything we could find.
But this year,
as far as I'm concerned, we're done with Halloween.
Because of what happened this week.
Last week it started. They came and they got some of my pumpkins and smashed them out in the street. They went around through the neighborhood and got some other people.
Georgia sent us these pictures of some other destruction around town, and it happened again Friday night.
They came back and they got some more of my pumpkins, and they're laying out in the street all smashed, and it's just not worth it.
She's invested a lot of time and money into her Halloween display.
It's better to just go ahead and put stuff away before they tear up anything else.
She's hoping someone will recognize the kids in the video so they can be held responsible.
I know kids are kids, but this is not being just mischievous. This is just vandalism. Straight up.
And says they need to make things right with their victims.
Oh, and at this point, they're going to pay me for the damage that they've done. I would accept their apology and let it go. I'm not a vindictive person.
Georgia and her husband are taking down their Halloween decorations now so nothing else can be destroyed. She tells me that no matter what happens, the Halloween spirit is ruined here this year. Working for you in Noblesville, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
All right, Graham, thank you. Well, Noblesville police tell RTV6 they have received 5 calls about the vandalism report, saying it has mostly involved smashed pumpkins. They believe the suspects are children, and so far there have been no arrests. Developing tonight, one person is dead after a plane crash near Kokomo. Howard County deputies were dispatched to State Road 22 and County Road 300 East for reports of a plane crash around 5 o'clock tonight. Deputies found a twin-engine plane in a soybean field. The pilot died in the crash, but investigators have not identified the person yet. Investigators are asking the public to stay away from the scene as the FAA and NTSB have been notified and will arrive to continue the investigation. A man is dead following a home invasion and a shooting on the north side. Officers were called to the 700 block of Edgemont Avenue just after midnight Saturday. They found a man there suffering from gunshot wounds. That man later died. His name has not been released, and police don't have any information on a possible suspect. If you have any leads tonight, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. We now officially have a new Marion County prosecutor. Ryan Mears was elected today by the Marion County Democratic Caucus. A packed meeting was held at the Julian Carson Government Center following the resignation of Marion County Prosecutor Terry Curry last month. Of the 376 eligible precinct committee chairs and vice chairs, 305 cast ballots today. Mears was up against Tim Moriarty for the position.
I think there's a lot of people who are invested in this process, and I think it underscores the importance of this job and the ability that this job can have on the community in terms of hopefully having a positive impact on people's lives.
Mears has made headlines recently following his decision to no longer prosecute simple marijuana cases. Today he was asked about that decision and says he isn't sure whether or not it impacted the voters' decisions, but he hopes it sends a clear message that he is independent and will do, quote, the right thing under the circumstances. He says his focus will be on drawing a hard line in the sand when it comes to violent crime. Mayor Joe Hogsett, who backed Mears' competitor, released this statement today congratulating Mears, saying in part, quote, Indianapolis works best when it works together, and that's nowhere more true than without law enforcement within our law enforcement community. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office is a critical partner, and we will move forward in pursuit of a safer and more just city. Today marks 1 year since a man was hit by a car and killed in Muncie, and tonight police are still asking for help solving this case. Tomorrow would have been Joe Minor's 28th birthday. Muncie police say he was hit by a car just after midnight on October 5th of last year near the Colonial Crest Apartments. Almost an hour and a half later, someone found him laying on the side of Morrison Road and he was rushed to the hospital. Minor died a short time later on his 27th birthday. Police were able to recover some surveillance video from that night, and they are still asking for help finding a smaller, boxy SUV with damage on the right side seen leaving the area of the crash. If you have any information, call Muncie Police. Developing tonight, Plainfield fire investigators are trying to determine what caused an early morning house fire. Crews were called out just after 4:30 this morning to Creekside Lane in a neighborhood off of Quaker Boulevard and US 40. Firefighters were able to put out the fire in the attic in about 10 minutes. Tonight, that family is okay and they were able to make it out without any injuries. Let's get a check your forecast now with Storm Team 6 meteorologist Kyle Mounts. Kyle, it was a beautiful Saturday.
Yeah, we had a great Saturday across central Indiana for your outdoor plans. Now this evening, we've got a band of some showers moving through and one downpour here, even picking up a little bit of lightning. Northern portions of Marion County, so maybe hearing a few rumbles of thunder. This is going to bypass Zionsville, moving into southern portions of Hamilton County and around Fishers in about the next half hour to 45 minutes with some decent rainfall. It's a lot lighter, though, as rain that's moved through the Muncie area into Newcastle right now, stretching along Interstate 70 in through Shelbyville into Columbus. This band of rain will move on through, but we're not necessarily done with those rain chances overnight and into tomorrow morning. Right now, our temperatures sitting in the middle 60s with a light northeast wind for us, and temperatures are generally in the 60s. Couple of spots, Columbus and Crawfordsville, have dipped into the upper 50s already, but most locations going to settle right around 60 degrees by tomorrow morning. We'll have mostly cloudy skies and some showers to start off the day. We'll talk about when those will move out in just a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you. The White House continues to push against claims President Trump acted illegally during his July phone call with Ukraine's president. This as House Democrats continue to wait for documents related to that discussion. ABC's Rachel Scott has more now from Washington.
The standoff between the White House and Congress intensifies.
This is the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country.
The congressional investigation into whether the president sought to strong-arm a foreign leader to dig up dirt on a political rival is expanding. House Democrats issuing subpoenas for the White House and requesting documents from Vice President Mike Pence, all related to the Ukraine controversy.
We've been treated very unfairly.
The White House dismissing those requests, issuing a statement saying the subpoena changes nothing and is a waste of time and taxpayer dollars. The State Department says it will cooperate, but with limits.
Nations do this. Nations work together and they say, boy, goodness gracious, if you can help me with X, we'll help you achieve Y. This is what partnerships do. It's win-win. It's better for each of us.
The president now fending off attacks from some in his own party. Republican Senator Mitt Romney calling the president's request for China and Ukraine to investigate his potential 2020 rival Joe Biden wrong and appalling. Today, the president responding on Twitter, writing, quote, "My conversation with the Ukrainian president was a congenial and very appropriate one." And Senator Marco Rubio was asked if he thought it was okay for the president to ask China to launch an investigation of the Bidens.
I don't know if that's a real request or him just needling the press, knowing that you guys were going to get outraged by it.
As President Trump doubles down on his attacks on Biden, the former VP firing back in a Washington Post op-ed, writing, quote, "He slanders anyone he sees as a threat. That is why he is frantically pushing flat-out lies, debunked conspiracy theories, and smears against me and my family. No doubt hoping to undermine my candidacy for the presidency. While the House does its job on impeachment, I'm going to stay focused on what matters." Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
Rachel, thank you. Governor Eric Holcomb has ordered all flags to fly at half-staff Sunday for the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Service. Flags should be flown from sunrise to sunset Sunday, according to a press release from the governor's office. Businesses and residents in Indiana are asked to lower their flags. Tonight, we want to send a big congratulations out to Westfield firefighter Matt Hansen. He's in the center of this photo here. Hansen won first place in the over 40 division at the U.S. Nationals Firefighter Combat Challenge in Fort Pierce, Florida. He finished with a time of 1 minute and 26 seconds, which placed him fourth in the entire nation. Very impressive. A traffic reminder now, a portion of a major interstate is now closed. Late last night, INDOT closed I-65 northbound from I-465 on the south side to the north split. The closure will last until 6 o'clock Monday morning. INDOT crews are repairing winter damage by resurfacing and strengthening bridges. Again, I-65 northbound closed between I-465 on the south side and north split. And on Monday, the intersection of Main Street and Guilford Road in Carmel will close for 60 days. Crews will replace the traffic signal there and add a new roundabout. This weekend, you can get a wax for your car in exchange for a donation that will go to a good cause. All 32 Crew Car Wash locations are giving away a free fast wax in exchange for any monetary donation. 100% of the proceeds will benefit the Joseph Maley Foundation. That's an Indianapolis foundation that aims to empower children to know they can have a positive impact in this world. Crew will accept cash and credit card donations in exchange for a fast wax at all locations. Crew Car Wash will be open Sunday from 7 a.m. to 9 in the evening. Police say a woman is in custody and a major catastrophe may have been prevented because two people saw something and said something. But the identity of those two people may surprise you. And see how young people got a real kick out of engaging in some positive and healthy fun. Learn about the far-reaching goal of this game straight ahead. Kyle.
Following that hot start to the month of October, things are about to cool off even more. We'll talk about when these temperatures are going to fall below average, and we'll have highs only in the 50s. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
We have the meat.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Authorities say a Florida woman intended to harm a lot of people. Her parents found a stash of bomb-making materials in her room and called police, possibly stopping a deadly attack in the near future. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has the details.
Police in Florida making a stunning discovery, an arsenal of weapons collected in this woman's family home. Police accusing 27-year-old Michelle Colts of making the dozens of pipe bombs with the intent to hurt people. Colts making her first court appearance Saturday.
The amount of highly destructive materials we found in this home were astonishing.
Deputies arresting Colts at work Thursday. Police say she admitted to making those devices.
We were really very shocked and saddened to hear about the situation.
Police say it was Colts' parents who sounded the alarm, discovering the bomb-making materials in her bedroom.
Who knows the amount of harm that could have been done or how many lives could have been lost had these parents not found the courage to call the sheriff's office and seek help.
Police say they discovered a total of 24 pipe bombs loaded with nails and screws for shrapnel, numerous weapons, including guns, 23 different knives, 2 hatchets, nunchucks, and dozens of books and DVDs about murder, mass killing, domestic terrorism, and bomb making.
Where is she getting all of this material from? How does she acquire it? How does she keep collecting it? It's just very, very disturbing.
Just last year, an online printing company called the sheriff's office concerned about the books Colts had been buying, including guides on how to make explosives.
They could be doing it for research. They could be doing it for thesis. At that time, there was nothing about her that was alarming that would have put her higher on our radar at the time.
Colts' next hearing is scheduled for October 8th. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
Stephanie, thank you. With the FDA yet to develop a regulatory framework for CBD-infused products, states are now stepping in. This week, Illinois introduced new legislation that could require the testing of CBD products. Usher Carisi has more.
Take a look around and CBD seems to be everywhere. Hemp-derived cannabidiol, or CBD, is sold as a supplement, promising to manage everything from anxiety and insomnia to chronic pain.
Gummies, edibles, you got bath bombs, salts, topical lotions, you name it, there's CBD in there.
But while some CBD retailers like Leafy Quick only sell products that have been tested, there are no laws requiring that.
So we don't obviously accept every brand that knocks on our door, and we go through a very stringent due diligence process.
And because CBD products are considered supplements rather than drugs, they remain largely unregulated. Since 2015, the FDA has issued more than 4 dozen warning letters to firms marketing unapproved drugs allegedly containing CBD. Many did not contain the levels of the cannabis derivative they claimed to.
These are products coming in from other states, more often than not are not being tested. So we don't know if they have heavy metals, they have pesticides, contaminants, synthetic THC, or something way worse.
It's that uncertainty about what's in the products that prompted Illinois State Representative Bob Morgan to act. He's pushing a bill that would require all CBD products sold in the state to pass minimum testing standards.
So we should have these high expectations, especially since people are consuming this product. These are things people are ingesting, and we have to make sure they're safe.
If they're not, the proposed law would require untested products to be pulled from shelves and online, and sellers violating the law could face stiff fines.
Especially retailers, more so the consumers, need to demand such regulations and more stringent regulations, in my opinion.
For now, there are still no national standards for CBD testing. Morgan says until federal regulators catch up, it's up to states to take the lead. Reporting from Chicago, I'm Usher Qureshi.
On this beautiful Saturday, people were out helping raise money to help an organization that is focused on ending violence here in Indianapolis. The kickball tournament at Little Flower Catholic Church helped raise a few $1,000s for a group called Violence Free Living. The organization has a classroom-based violence reduction program that focuses on intervention for people who are incarcerated, on parole, or probation. They've been working in prisons and jails since 2010, but this is the first year they are now working with at-risk members of our community.
Not only do we need to help the victim, we need to help the person who's the abuser, who is a violent person too. Until they know, they understand their behavior, nothing's going to change. So we have to start helping them and addressing them also.
Today, Metro Police, Indianapolis firefighters, and community members were on teams competing in the kickball tournament. Mayor Hogsett was also there supporting Violence-Free Living and their mission to help end violence in our community. Now let's take a live look outside right now on this Saturday night. A beautiful shot downtown right now. Kyle, I feel like anyone who had plans outside today, they were in luck because it was so nice.
Beautiful and starting to feel like fall now here in central Indiana. So the weather kind of catching up to the calendar a little bit, and it is going to get even cooler here. We'll talk more about that in a second. But first, let's talk about the hot September here. We had the warmest September on record for Indianapolis. The average temperature 6.7 degrees above the normal, and it was also the third driest. We only picked up a little under a half an inch of rainfall. Now, some areas last week did improve to the north with some rain, but that drought continuing to expand here around Bedford, Seymour toward Greensburg, and those dry conditions around Indianapolis. So any rain we can get, we will certainly take it. Here as we go through our Saturday night, you can see the shower. The lightning has dropped out, but may have an isolated rumble of thunder. There is no severe weather threat here during the overnight, but showers north side of the city through eastern portions of Hamilton County. Those will continue to slide off to the east and northeast. Otherwise, it's a band of some lighter rain stretching from Newcastle, Rushville into Shelbyville and Columbus. This will also continue to push off to the east over the next few hours. 64 degrees right now in downtown, upper 50s in Martinsville, and 60 degrees even for you in Kokomo. By tomorrow morning, temperatures upper 50s to around 60, so it won't be in the cool 40s like we had this morning. But if you are going to be heading out, maybe do a little apple picking or head to the orchard tomorrow. Could be a little bit damp there first thing in the morning. 10 a.m. we'll have some scattered showers and 62. Those temperatures, though, will make their way back to around 70 degrees with more clouds around tomorrow than what we had today. Here's a look at TrueCast by 6:30 in the morning, and there you can see a few of those scattered showers, possibly again a rumble of thunder or two. By the time we get mid to late morning, the best rain chances are going to be pushing south of Interstate 70, but we may see a resurgence even as we go through the afternoon of a few more showers. So I would say your rain chances north of Interstate 70, especially after 10 o'clock in the morning, are very low. We'll continue, though, with some more widespread rain off to the south All that said, it's not going to add up to a whole lot. Temperature-wise, upper 60s, Kokomo, Frankfort, and Marion. 72 in Indy, 73 in Martinsville. A little more rain will hold you right around 70 degrees, areas to the south. 7-day planning forecast now as we put it all together, and we'll dry things out on Monday. A little bit cooler there with a high of 68. We're ramping back up, though, with those temperatures approaching 80 on Thursday. A few showers and storms on Friday, though, will really knock those temperatures back by this time next week. Highs in the 50s, lows, some areas could be in the 30s.
My eyes went right to that 58. I was like, oh.
Yeah, get ready to layer up big time next weekend.
Scarves and everything.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Coming up, it may come back to haunt you. The decision being made among some job seekers may feel good, but is it worth it? Details coming up next.
Awesome. See our mattress experts this weekend.
Welcome back. You might know the term ghosting in regards to dating. It's when someone you're talking to just disappears and stops communicating. Well, as Annie Taylor reports, people are now ghosting during the job process and now paying a price they may not realize.
Not showing up for an interview, maybe not showing up for a phone call or returning a phone call, or even in some cases, not showing up to work.
In this hot of a job market, people are ghosting each other left and right. Former hiring manager Craig Cummings says he got used to new hires not showing up for the job.
It was probably a third of the time they would actually show up. 2/3 of the time, we just never heard back from them.
A recent survey by recruiting firm Robert Half says 28% of people backed out of a job offer. Why? Because they received a better offer from another company. Ghosting is happening more to employers during the hiring process. Karen Policastro with Robert Half says it may seem easier to avoid an awkward situation, but honesty is the best policy.
At minimum, it's easy to send an email and just explain, here's what's going on. Just make sure you follow up with a no thank you, but thank you.
Karen says leverage the better job offer. Call the company you're tempted to ghost.
You never know when they may come back with, hey, listen, I understand you have this opportunity. Let's see if we can up the ante on our opportunity.
Job seeker Evan has the right idea.
If I got the better offer, I would probably email them, let them know, give them a chance if they're trying to increase the salary, increase the benefits, see if they can match that.
But ghosting works both ways. Job seeker Joshua Curry thought he made a good impression during an interview, but the potential employer never called him back.
If I send email, they usually get back to me, but if I try calling, not really. No, it seems to be a little bit more challenging in person, face-to-face.
No matter which side you stand on, you can fall back on this. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
This market will turn one day, and you don't want to burn any bridges. That may be an employer that you want to go back to down the road, and they'll remember you.
I don't ever believe in burning any bridge, especially for a company that was magnanimous and hired me and was willing to make an offer. I would see no reason to not reach out to them and leave them hanging.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
All right, Annie, thank you. Well, today there was a fierce competition out on the track at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and no, there weren't any race cars. Today the focus was on the kids.
3, 2, 1.
The 500 Festival Mini Kids Run was held on the iconic track. For kids ages 5 to 12, the entire event is set up to give the kids a similar experience as runners get during the One America 500 Festival Mini Marathon. The afternoon focused on kids getting interested in the sport of racing. All of the racers crossed the finish line at the Yard of Bricks, the same place drivers crossed the finish line for the Indy 500.
It is a great opportunity to introduce kids to the sport of running and walking and give them an amazing experience at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I've run the last couple of Indy Minis, great fun, and I saw this opportunity to bring the grandchildren into running, and just I hope they have as much fun with it as I do.
We've been looking forward to it for a while, and we've been practicing running.
Organizers say there is just something special about running at the Motor Speedway. They say many kids they talked to were nervous and hesitant, but after they cross the finish line, they are excited, and many come back year after year. Sunday, the Colts play in prime time against the Kansas City Chiefs. The game kicks off at 8:20 p.m. at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. The Colts will try to get back into the win column after a loss at home last Sunday to the Oakland Raiders. It's also a rematch of last year's playoffs. Indy lost to Kansas City in the second round. We'll be right back here with a final check of your forecast.
For life, get your auto insurance quote today.
Today, the annual Blessing of Pets took place at St. Christopher Catholic Church in Speedway. Each animal was blessed with holy water. There were several dogs, at least one cat, and even a bearded dragon.
Well, it won't necessarily be raining cats and dogs tomorrow, but a few showers to start off the day. 72 the high.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 6.